At this time, we're going to call our 5:30 council meeting order. We ask Pastor Young if he'll lead us in prayer, and after which we'll have the pledge of allegiance to the flag of everyone.
Once again, after we come on session for your presence, as we come before your throne, we ask you just to look on this council today, we ask your blessing to be the invited guest in this place, that you will impart wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Bind us together, of course, Lord, that cannot be broken. That we will come together and make decisions conducive for the growth of this city. And we will forever give you honor, glory, and praise in Jesus' name.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Young. Councilwoman Young. Councilwoman Ness.
Present.
Councilman Lee. Present.
Councilman County.
Here. To let the record show that Councilwoman Martin Harris is not here. The city attorney is here. The council attorney is in the house somewhere. The mayor won't be with us today, but our staff is here and our citizens. Those that are here to speak before the council, we ask that you will come to my right and your left, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the council. And we ask that the form that you fill out to appear on the council agenda, whatever subject you put there, you stick to that subject. Thank you. First item, Madam Clerk.
Timothy Taylor.
Next item. Okay, all right.
Chair, unless there's any question from the council or any further discussion on, unless he's not going to be present for that, we'll just forward this to the mayor's office.
As I stated,
You already taken
I
care of
will
it?
take care of it, yes.
Okay,
I
there's no
talked to
action.
him.
Okay.
I talked to him.
Request to take no action.
Next item, Madam Clerk. No, this was, it was just an agreement. The council made the agreement, stipulating the terms and everything. There was,
What I sent you was just
2 top pages.
I mean, that on page 2, item C, see, I incorporated made that $3,800 from 15 around the first time. You better wait for it.
Thank you.
Just pray that word.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Let's praise it is, last year.
No, this is, he just did the revision, yes.
Motion to probably consent to accept.
Okay, we'll have consent, okay. Thank you, Council.
A resolution authorizing the Historic Preservation Commission's use of the municipal auditorium to host its annual tea fund raising activity and declaring a public purpose.
Councilwoman.
Mr. Chairman, I will be responsible to open and close up for them for their tea. That's our annual tea.
Do we have a motion?
Chair, I have no question on it. Do you have a motion from the council, or do you need a second?
If we need a motion, so moved. Okay, do I have a second? Okay. Cast your vote, please. Motion carried. Thank you. And Councilwoman, if I'm not here, remind me where I can give you a donation to that.
Appreciate it very much. Yeah, we are trying to now get sleeves and so forth.
is to possibly do some videos of some of our historian, you know, like Mr. Sanders, Ms. Woodyard, and everything. It's actually just let them speak their part here as well. This can be the part and then consider those that are young people there as well. Mr. Sanders with the art and everything, and I thank him all the time for only having to pay a dime to swim at Prichard Park for that time. And Ms. Woodyard, her baby was the Boy Scout. She have been dedicated in that area, and young people really need to know something about that kind of preserve as much as they can.
Yeah, that was very, very instrumental in raising the debt.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
A request made by Representative Napoleon Bracy for the city of Prichard to consider changing the name of Pilot Park to Pilot Samples Park.
Council.
Yeah, you pretty much led into the issue that's before the council at this time. Early on, I think when we had an opportunity for the county to come in and help us to renovate and bring Pilot Park up to where it is now. From the previous park that it once was, it was even entertained at that time that the park would be renamed after Mr. Samples. However, I did meet with members of the Powell family, and they had expressed, you know, their desire to keep the name of the park, you know, renamed or named rather under the Powell family, and I accepted that request based on their information and their history, and also a lot of other individuals, one of which also the councilman had expressed just a few minutes ago, Ms. Elzora, in terms of funding and the things that they had done to make what we knew as Prichard Park, you know, Powell Park to this day. But I do certainly support Mr. Samples. I think he represents what we in Prichard are proud of, and he's done his part. We probably couldn't put enough names on the sign if we had to include all those who have had a benefit. But that's not to say it's not as deserving of other names. I would accept and ask that the council would accept the request from our representative and the others, our representatives who have signed on with him to honor the name change. If it so pleases the council, that we would accept that and to come back with a resolution of our own authorizing any expenditure of funds that would be needed to carry out the request of the state representative.
Do we have a second one? So anyhow, just one question.
I noticed that, what's the name, Jamie, called Sam. We want to put hyphen in.
I was just about to say, I'm putting on my ABC hyphen. It does need to be hyphen.
Any other comments from any other?
And I just wanted to say, I heard my colleague mention that you want to come back with a resolution with us.
Yes.
So, you know, one of the things that I mentioned to make a request, because if you look at the history of Pilot Park, it wasn't just Pilot, and it wasn't just Samples. There were some other people who, from the beginning to the end, worked on that park. And I would like just to request something of you, that if you will get in touch with one non-family, the Brooks family, just to talk with one of them and see how they feel about it. Because it didn't start with Mr. Samples, and it didn't start with Mr. Powell. It started with all of them. And one of the things you don't want to do, you don't want to, Mr. Samples and I've been friends ever since my child was in his Boy Scout program years ago. And I know that he has done absolutely a lot. But when it comes to Pilot Park, it just gets with people. And I just would like to know, and I think as far as any other person that was a part of it, I think it was Mr. Pilot, Mr. Samples, and it was Mrs. Elzora Brooks. And I think those would do, if you just do that and maybe have that ready, I mean, you can just let me know.
Yes,
And I would feel better about it, it's a lot of people. So I'm going to abstain, but I think it will wait until you bring that information back. And that way, the others are, especially the Brooks family, I think that's the only really one that worked along with them from the beginning, besides this work yard. This work yard absolutely started from the beginning also. So, and then I would be comfortable with it. Okay?
If If I may, if we could look at maybe placing a plaque or something and identify all the names of this, yeah, this really was, it was fine. You know, I was sort of young at that time. I just heard a lot. Yeah, I was a little boy. I had the straight down from my granddad in the street. It's and I think it would actually give us a chance to sort of recap history and everything, and just come up with something. Even if we had to do some fundraising, something, and do a nice monument, plaque or something to capture. I did express to Representative Prichard that we would probably end up having this discussion, because this came up once before when we would actually want to completely replace the name from Pollard to Sample. And I did express to him that if the state would offer up funding to assist us, that we'd be able to put up what I would consider a state-of-the-art sign that's used for the historic areas. The council was very familiar with the bronze. They're hewn in with stone and bronze. They may not necessarily have their faces, but they would definitely have their names engraved. Whereas once the sign would come with Pollard Samples Park, we would have a commemoration of those who also contributed immediately underneath the name of the park to somewhat to indicate that not only the Pollard family and the Samples family necessarily the name, all of these names are responsible for this park that we call now. And I did express, he said he would support that wholeheartedly as well. So that would be involved, rather than putting it on the concession stand, it would be a standalone sign as a monument underneath the actual marquee that's currently standing. So that we would definitely give them that justice. And I will contact, if the council has any additional names, then we need to add those to that monument and use that as part of the process of moving forward to change the name.
I do have, and I'm listening to those.
Thank you. Chair, if there's no further question, I would ask, I'll let the motion of the council would move to accept the resolution provided by State Representative Grace and the other representatives on the resolution to request the name change of Pollard Park to Pollard Samples Park, and that we would subsequently come back with a resolution of the council supporting the name change, but also appropriating the necessary funding that would need to be needed, not this fiscal year, but the upcoming fiscal year, to affix a sign commemorating all those names and individuals who have brought this park to fruition for our community. Do we have a second? That's fine. I understand. I just want to make sure we had it clear for the record.
Okay.
I know you'd rather wait, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to delay it. So I'll make sure we take care of your request.
I'd like to say something on the standard that we put in the signs to me like, there are other people that really need a whole lot more. I'm not familiar with them, but the standard that I was thinking that you would need to call us apart. And then turn around and put the sample on the ones, but, I would agree with whichever one is doing, but I was thinking on that. Putting that person in, because we started from the very beginning, and she stayed to the end, then I would, prefer seeing her name, so just not her people, really good part with it, people call it part, then put sample, Prichard, whoever else you need to put on that. I would suggest that.
The councilman, let me ask you to withdraw your motion and you lead the committee and really capture all of this.
I don't have a problem with that at all. I was based on the councilman's comment. I felt like that was probably fitting to at least get a 2-week taping of the actual request that's been put before us. I think if the representative, our former council member has asked us to just consider, then I don't think that requires a vote or acceptance of whatever the name change. So we can accept his recommendation to consider. Let that be a matter of record that we have taken it into consideration and thus formed the necessary committee to make sure that we're all in agreement on the appropriate name change or how we go about doing it. I stand in support of
Not
that.
an agreement with your name change there, but yet, whether accepted as far as what is submitted
Yes, ma'am.
to the council for consideration. That's.
And the second part of that motion that Councilman Eaton will lead that committee with other council members to find everyone that was working with that group and recognize, come up with a way to recognize everyone that's maybe looking at some of the, whatever we might do, plaques, monuments or whatever. It's salute to.
Yeah.
Chair, I don't think there was a second on the previous motion, so I would present the motion.
Okay.
And would ask that a subsequent motion would be that the council would thus consider the request that is provided by Representative Brace at this time on the proposed name change, and only consideration of it.
Okay. Catch the roll. Motion approved. We ask the clerk to notify Councilman Bracy, and at some point in time, we'll request this president at a meeting with the committee is to start putting everything in motion of everyone that participated during that time to create recreation during that time. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Correspondence from Mayor Davis to be made a matter of record.
This is just to be made a matter of record. And basically, it's just what he said last week, and he's still open to any suggestions that the council may have. He's receptive. You can contact him, Mr. Williams. If there is anyone that need anything, we'll be glad to arrange a meet where it's not to violate the.
Would we be meeting number for special call meeting? We probably need to.
Okay, we can.
Jim, at 5:30 because the council decision is expected on next Thursday.
Okay.
And unless others have had time to review it based upon the request from last week, we would probably need to at least collectively sit down at least once before next Thursday.
Okay, do we have consent that we'll have a special call finance committee meeting to discuss the budget?
Monday at 5:30.
Reserve Monday at 5:30. Consent, okay, thank you. Ms. Glory, would you notify the mayor that we'll have a special finance committee meeting at 5:30 Monday to address nothing, we are not going to address anything but the budget reserve. Unless it's something that could go right quick. But we would like to really get that resolved. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Chairman, I motion that the correspondence from Mayor Davis would be made a matter of record.
Do we have a second? Cast your vote, please. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Correspondence from the Finance Director regarding special fund number 170, capital improvement fund to replace roof at Turner Road Fire Station in the amount of $11,540.
And at this time, we're going to ask Chief Vernier to come to the podium and speak.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief.
We received 3 bids on this roof, and it's going to be the University Boulevard, Hawthorne Boulevard Fire Station. We received one, which is way out of, it should have been for $19,500. The guy never gave me a written contract. It was a gentleman by the name of John. We received one from a guy named John Schamberger. His was $12,400. And then we received one from Smith Roofing, which is a total of $11,540. It's written a little bit confusing because we have a shingle roof, and then we have 2 flat roofs on the roof. Shingle roof, is all the shingles are going to tear them off, replace any wood that's bad, is $8,415. To do the flat roof with a hot knot is $3,125. Total of $11,540. bids were within, I think, $5,000 each other. And then one bid was probably $8,000 more.
Okay, so you recommend that the award to Smith Roofing?
Yes, sir.
I guess the only concern is the bid from Smith Roofing actually meets the specifications.
Yes. He has Prichard city license, he bonded, and he's got everything.
Okay, motion, so long provided that the sponsors.
Chief, what was the quote when the gentleman Young, the higher quote, how much is that now?
$19,500. He never brought me back a written quote.
And then the Schamberger contractor was $12,000.
$12,400.
Okay. And there were,
It's about $1,800 difference.
okay, I see the one here. The one for $3,125, was that a supplemental, or was
Yeah,
that
that's
was a flat?
the flat. And then the shingle part is $8,450.
Okay. I'm saying, how much was it?
$8,450.
That's what we have.
You add two together, it comes to $11,000.
You just open these, when is it open?
Sir,
When were the bids open?
we've been trying to get bids for last week.
No, when is it open?
Last week, when did I give you rates? 2 weeks ago.
Reviewed by the mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the bid for the amount of
The award bid to the
reward to for the lowest bidder, which is Smith Roofing Service, for the amount of $11,540. And this is based on the fact that acceptance of meeting the specifications.
You got a second, check. Okay. Case your vote, please. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, clerk.
A motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held on May 24, 2012 with necessary corrections.
So moved.
Second.
Cast your vote. Motion carries.
The mayor's report? Yes. Yeah, the city of Prichard would like to, was approved for, $4,815,108, for reconstruction of Wilson Avenue through Alabama Transportation Rehabilitation Improvement Program. That's an 8-foot program. It's an 80-20 match, and, Mayor will discuss with the council the match component.
What was the match component?
It's 80-20.
Okay. 20 in the city.
Yes.
That's the Wilson.
Reconstruction
All
of
of them.
Wilson Avenue.
All right, good. Yeah.
I'd just like to announce on tomorrow at 8:30, the Prichard Park will be having that graduation at the public safety building tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. I encourage everyone to come out. I am the event speaker tomorrow. And those will be
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief.
here in Athens, and that will be the annuity, that, the Prichard Historic Commission will be hired, and that will be in July, so you have enough time, okay, that, you all can help them out. They'll be working very, very hard. It'll be from 4 to 6 p.m. on July the 15th. July the 15th, put it in the calendar, on your calendar, and make sure that, if you can attend, I know that it happens, but at least if you're willing to give them something, because they are trying to now, preserve the documents, and, we're gonna have the links and so forth in order for insertions of those documents, so, thank you.
Monday, 5:30, special finance committee meeting. And ask that you post them over. Thank you. Any other motion to adjourn?
So moved, Chair.
Thank you.